Okay, let's unpack this. You step off the plane in a brand new country, that humid air hits you, and almost immediately your brain clicks to one of the most fundamental things about travel: money.
Yeah, like how do I actually pay for stuff here? Where do I get the local cash?
Exactly. And how do I avoid getting ripped off on the exchange rate? And what about the unspoken rules, tipping, just handling their money?
Hmm.
Well, today, based on some really great sources you shared, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that, specifically for the land of smiles, Thailand.
And it's fascinating, isn't it? How the practical money stuff is
Mm,
so deeply tied into the culture in a place like Thailand.
totally. It's way more than just finding the best exchange rate.
Oh, yeah. It's about respect, showing you understand local ways, making the whole trip smoother, richer even.
Couldn't agree more. So our mission for you today is basically this. We want to equip you with the essentials: how to manage your money confidently, how to stay safe, and how to navigate some really crucial cultural bits around money and just general interactions in Thailand.
And we've got some solid info to draw on. Guides on money exchange, safety tips.
Yeah, plus transport insights, cultural etiquette, deep dives, visa stuff, even some must-bring tips from travelers on Reddit.
Right. So by the end of this, the idea is you'll feel prepped, not just ready, but actually excited for your Thai adventure without stressing the money side too much.
Exactly, because Thailand is so popular, right? A little bit of prep in these areas, it just makes a huge difference.
It really does. Lets you get past the logistics and just, soak it all in. The sights, the sounds, the culture, less stress.
Okay, so let's start with the absolute basics. The money itself, the official currency, as you probably know, is the Thai baht, THB.
Yep, THB.
And you'll see coins, 1, 2, 5, and 10 baht coins, plus the smaller ones, the stan coins, 25 and 50 satan coins.
And just a reminder, 100 satangs make up 1 baht.
Right. Then you've got the banknotes, 20, 50, 100, 500, and the big one, 1,000 baht.
Standard enough denominations.
But here's where it gets really interesting from a cultural perspective. It's not just about the numbers.
What jumped out at you first about the look of the currency?
Well, straight away, you see images of the king. Currently, King Mahavajiralongkorn, Rama X, on the coins, on the notes.
Mm.
And the sources really stress this isn't just decoration. It reflects this deep reverence the Thai people have for the monarchy.
It's fundamental to their identity, isn't it? Not just political, but cultural, spiritual.
Exactly. It's a cornerstone. So that baht you're using for some amazing street food, it carries this extra weight, this significance beyond just its buying power.
Which brings it a practical point for travelers, maybe a subtle one. How should that reverence affect how we handle the money?
That's a great question. I mean, the sources don't say you'll get arrested for a crumpled bill or anything.
No, probably not.
But it strongly implies, handling the currency with care is a sign of respect. Maybe don't aggressively fold the notes. And definitely don't step on a coin if it rolls away.
Uh-huh. Yeah, probably best not to. It's those small things, right? Showing a bit of cultural awareness.
It is a quiet way to acknowledge something really important to Thai identity.
Okay, so you've landed, you've got maybe a little bit of this culturally significant bat.
Mm.
Now, where do you get more?
Right. The money-changing article we looked at is pretty clear here. The airport exchange, super convenient, obviously, after a long flight. But almost always the rates are worse. You're paying for that convenience.
The classic captive audience premium.
Totally. The advice is change only what you absolutely need right away at the airport. Enough for a taxi or the train to your hotel, maybe a bottle of water.
Makes sense. Get out of the airport bubble first.
Yeah. The much better deals, according to the source, are usually at local banks or those certified, reputable exchange places you find in the cities.
Like in Bangkok, Chiang Mai.
Exactly. Even places like Koh Tao, where one of the articles is based, they have plenty of these exchange offices with competitive rates. They're used to tourists needing to change money.
So a little bit of effort to find one of those usually pays off.
Definitely. And the article gives some good tips for getting the best rates. First off, compare. Don't just walk into the first place you see.
Shop around a bit.
Yeah. Check the rates at a couple of different spots. Even tiny differences add up if you're changing a decent amount of cash.
Basic financial sense, really. Applies anywhere.
Yeah.
Exchange rates move. Providers have different margins.
And they also warn against changing money at hotels or like random shops. Their rates are almost always worse than banks or the specialist exchange places.
Right. Stick to the dedicated places if possible.
And this next one's super important. Watch out for hidden commissions.
Ah, the fine print.
Exactly. They might flash a great rate, but then hit you with fees. always ask, what's the total amount of BAT I will receive after all charges? Get the final number.
That is crucial advice. Those hidden fees can take a real chunk out of your budget if you're not careful.
And one last practical tip gives you a bit of peace of mind, too. Get familiar with what Thai banknotes look like, the security features, watermarks, the feel of the paper.
To spot potential fakes.
Yeah, if a bill feels off or looks weird, just politely ask for a different one. Better safe than sorry.
Good point.
I know.
Especially if you're maybe in a less formal market setting or something.
Okay, so you've got your bet. Now, how do you keep it safe while you're wandering around?
Right. Don't want to be flashing huge wads of cash.
No. The safety source strongly advises against carrying large amounts with you. Use the safe in your hotel room or guest house. Put the bulk of your cash and your important documents, like your passport, in there.
Simple, effective risk reduction.
Okay, so we have cash. We're keeping it safe. What about cards? What's the cash versus card situation in Thailand?
Well, the consensus from the sources seems to be cash is still very much king in a lot of situations.
Especially where?
Local markets, definitely. Smaller restaurants, places off the main tourist track, rural areas. You absolutely need to have some physical Thai baht on you.
Reflects the infrastructure, right. Not every little stall has a card machine.
Exactly. And even if they do, there are often fees involved if you pay by card.
Right. ATMs are pretty widespread, thankfully. Our source mentioned finding them easily even in 7-Elevens on Koh Tao, which is handy for getting buck.
That's good to know.
But you absolutely have to think about fees. Your bank back home might charge international transaction fees, currency conversion fees.
Oh.
And on top of that, the local place, the shop or restaurant, might add their own surcharge for card payments, often like 3 to 5%.
So cards are convenient, maybe safer for big purchases, but they can definitely cost you extra. Those fees add up.
Interestingly, the money-changing source did mention online banks like N26, Revolut.
Yeah, they often have better exchange rates and lower fees than traditional banks.
They do. But even with those, the advice is still have cash. Because that amazing little street food stall you stumble upon probably won't take a card, Revolut or otherwise.
It's about balance, isn't it? Use cards strategically, maybe for hotels or bigger shops, but rely on cash for the day-to-day stuff, especially in local spots.
Okay, let's shift focus a bit to something where money and culture really, really connect. Giving money at temples.
Yes, the offerings. This is a big part of Thai religious life, tied into Theravada Buddhism.
It's fundamental. And these aren't just like casual donations you drop in a box.
There's real meaning behind it.
Absolutely. So typically, you leave small amounts of baht in designated donation boxes around the temple. And that money has a direct purpose.
Right, it helps maintain the temple, supports the monks living there.
Funds religious ceremonies, community activities run by the temple. It's a direct contribution to the place itself.
A very practical way for people to support these important community centers.
But beyond the practical, there's this huge spiritual side. In Buddhism, giving, this is an act of generosity. It's about making merit, generating good karma.
Which is believed to impact your well-being, right?
Yeah.
In this life and future lives. It's about selfless giving.
Exactly. The value isn't just the money amount. It's the intention, the act itself.
That's a beautiful concept.
And you see this practice really come to the forefront during big holidays, like Songkran, the Thai New Year in April.
And Loy Krathong, the Festival of Lights in November.
Yeah. During those times, money offerings are often part of bigger rituals, along with giving flowers, incense, food for the Buddha images, and the monks.
So it's woven right into their major celebrations.
Definitely. And when you, as a visitor, participate, the key is respect, modesty. Remember, temples are sacred spaces. Act accordingly.
It underlines that point again. Understanding local ways goes way beyond just money. It's how you behave in these important places.
Okay, let's broaden out now to general safety. Big question for many travelers. What's the verdict on Thailand?
Well, the overall feeling from the sources is pretty positive, reassuring actually. Thailand is generally considered safe for tourists.
The land of smiles reputation seems largely earned. Friendly people, welcoming atmosphere.
Yeah, and compared to many places, the crime rate is relatively low. Plus, the government and local police do have measures specifically for tourist safety.
But like anywhere ning and busy,
Okay.
you can't just switch off your awareness completely.
Exactly. Petty theft, scams, they can happen, especially in crowded tourist areas. So while it's generally safe, you still need to be aware, take basic precautions.
Vigilance is always your best friend when traveling.
Absolutely.
And the safety article we looked at has some really essential tips. First, just stay aware of your surroundings, especially in crowds markets, public transport, major sites.
Keep your wits about you.
Second, be wary of scams. Common ones include those gem scams. Someone offers you an amazing deal.
Too good to be true, usually.
Right. Tuk-tuk scams, drivers overcharging or taking you on detours to shops.
Always agree on a price beforehand or insist on the meter in a taxi.
Good point. And fake tours. Book through reputable places, check reviews. If a deal seems unbelievable, it probably is.
Doing that little bit of research up front can save a lot of hassle and money.
The safety article also hits on health stuff. Stay hydrated. It's tropical. Protect yourself from mosquitoes. Be smart about street food hygiene.
We'll touch more on health specifics later, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And transport safety, use metered taxis or reliable ride-hailing apps. If you ride a motorbike, be super careful. Always, always wear a helmet.
So important. Road safety is a real concern.
They also give emergency numbers. Tourist Police, 1155, General Tourist Hotline, 1672. Good to have those handy. And know where your embassy is, just in case.
All really practical, common sense advice that makes a difference.
Okay, digging a bit deeper into medical and health safety. The Agoda source mentions Thailand has lots of international standard hospitals and clinics, especially in the big cities.
That's reassuring. But travel insurance is still essential, right?
Absolutely crucial. Get comprehensive travel insurance that covers medical expenses before you leave home. Non-negotiable, really.
And vaccinations.
Make sure your routine shots are up to date. And depending on where exactly you're going in Thailand, your doctor might recommend jabs for things like Hep A, Hep B, typhoid, maybe Japanese encephalitis.
Best advice is always talk to your doctor well before you travel. Get personalized advice.
Definitely. The source also repeats the hydration point: drink bottled water. And for street food, the tip is to go for vendors cooking fresh right there with lots of customers. Good turnover usually means fresher ingredients, better hygiene.
Makes sense. Follow the crowd sometimes.
And insects. Mosquitoes again. Use repellent, wear long sleeves, especially at dusk and dawn. Maybe use mosquito nets if you're in rural spots. Helps prevent things like dengue.
Simple steps, big impact on staying healthy.
Let's quickly revisit those scams with specifics, just so you really recognize them. The gem scam. Someone approaches you, maybe strikes up a friendly chat, then offers to take you to a special government-approved gem shop with amazing deals.
Red flag right there.
Big time. The gems are usually poor quality, massively overpriced. Just politely decline and walk away.
Got it. What about tuk-tuks and taxis?
Insist taxis use the meter, period. If they refuse, get a different taxi. For tuk-tuks, always agree on the price before you get in and be clear about the destination. Maybe even check the route on your phone map so you know you're not going way out of the way.
Good tip. Using the map app keeps everyone honest.
And those fake tours. If you're booking excursions, stick to well-known companies, your hotel's tour desk, or agencies with good online reviews. Double-check credentials. Avoid deals offered by random people on the street.
Again, it comes back to being wary of unsolicited offers and doing your own quick checks.
Okay, now for something that can really make your trip better, foster those positive connections. Cultural etiquette. Understanding and respecting local customs.
This is so important in Thailand. It's a culture with rich traditions.
Top of the list, the way, that traditional greeting. Palms together, fingers up, slight bow.
It's how you show respect.
Yes.
And you should always return away if someone gives one to you.
Yeah, and the guide mentioned the height of your hands, and the bow changes subtly depending on who you're greeting, right? Monks get the highest way.
Exactly. It's nuanced, but the basic gesture shows you're making an effort.
Dress code is another big one. Modesty is important. It's a Buddhist country, generally conservative norms.
So avoid really revealing clothes, low-cut tops, super short shorts, especially when you're not just on the beach.
Definitely not in temples. Shoulders and knees must be covered to enter most temples. They might even turn you away if you're not dressed appropriately.
Shows respect for the sacred space.
And removing shoes. Always take your shoes off before entering a temple or someone's home. Look for the pile of shoes outside. That's your cue. Some shops might ask too.
Easy one to follow.
Respect for monks. Hugely important. They're highly revered. We mentioned the higher way. Women should never touch a monk or their robes or hand things directly to them.
place things down for them to pick up instead.
Right. And giving up your seat for a monk on public transport is a really appreciated gesture.
Reflects their status in society.
Also, try to use your right hand for things like paying, handing objects over, shaking hands. The left hand is traditionally seen as less clean.
Good habit to get into.
And finally, smile. It's the land of smiles for a reason. A smile goes a long way, eases situations, makes interactions friendlier. Be mindful of your expression.
These little things add up to create a much more positive experience for you and for the locals.
Now for the flip side, some key don'ts. Things to avoid. First, try really hard not to lose your temper in public.
Displays of anger are really frowned upon.
Yeah, it makes everyone uncomfortable. Try to adopt that my bup and rye attitude like, no worries, it's okay, let small things slide.
Easier said than done sometimes, but important.
Big one. Feet are considered the lowest, least clean part of the body. So don't point with your feet. Don't show the soles of your feet to people. Don't put your feet up on furniture pointing at someone.
And never point your feet at a Buddha image. Major disrespect.
Absolutely. In fact, pointing directly at people with your finger can also be seen as rude. Gesture with your whole hand instead. Palm down, fingers together to beckon someone.
Comes from those core beliefs about respect and cleanliness.
And the opposite of feet, the head. It's considered the most sacred part of the body. So don't touch people's heads, not even kids' hair playfully.
Right, and don't raise your feet above someone's head or step over people sitting on the floor.
This next one is critical. Disrespecting the royal family. It's a huge no-no. Thailand has strict lèse-majesté laws.
It's not just rude, it's a serious crime.
Exactly. Many Thais are deeply devoted to the monarchy. Show respect. That extends to the currency with the king's image. Handle it carefully. And definitely avoid any negative comments or social media posts about the royals.
Just steer clear of the topic if you're unsure.
Good advice. Lastly, PDA's public displays of affection. Keep them minimal. Thailand's quite modest socially. Holding hands is generally okay, but avoid kissing or getting too touchy-feely in public.
Understanding these boundaries is key to showing respect and avoiding offense.
Okay, practical gear time. Based on that Reddit thread, what do fellow travelers say are must-brings?
Unsurprisingly, money stuff is high on the list.
Yeah.
Cash is essential, they say, especially for small purchases.
Some even suggested bringing crisp, new US dollar bills to exchange. Apparently, they sometimes get slightly better rates.
Interesting tip. Worth considering. Again, be aware of ATM fees, bank fees. Have a backup card. Tell your bank you're traveling.
Standard pre-travel checklist, yeah. Multiple ways to access funds is always smart.
What about health and comfort items?
Sunscreen! Bring it from home. It can be pricey there. And lots of local versions have whitening agents you might not want.
Good point. Insect repellent, too. Though some say local brands work well.
Right. Definitely bring any prescription meds you need with a doctor's note, comfortable shoes you'll walk a lot. Wet wipes are popular.
Maybe probiotics, motion sickness meds if you need them.
Yeah, those got mentioned too. Sensible additions.
Practical gear.
Waterproof bag, great idea for boat trips or rainy days. Extra charging cable, always useful. Unlocked phone is a big one.
So you can get a local SIM or eSIM for cheap data.
Exactly. Saves a fortune on roaming. Maybe a travel adapter, though some hotels have universal plugs now. Just watch the voltage for certain appliances. Packing cubes got a shout out for organization.
Little things that make life easier on the road.
Safety items mentioned. Photocopies of your passport and visa, separate from the originals.
Classic advice. Some like money belts or passport pouches for transit.
Yeah, though others feel okay leaving their passport locked in the hotel safe once they arrive. Personal preference, maybe? And travel insurance, again, highly recommended.
Can't stress that enough. Essential backup.
Okay, lastly, let's quickly cover visas, especially some key updates for 2025. This is important stuff.
Not changing.
From May 1st, 2025, it seems all foreigners will need to apply for a Thailand Digital Arrival Card TDAC. It's an electronic travel authorization. You apply via the current e-visa portal.
Okay, TDAC. Need to remember that.
And alongside that, they're rolling out a full electronic travel authorization ETA system expected by June 2025. This will be needed for everyone who currently enters visa-exempt, air, sea, land arrivals.
So even if you don't need a traditional visa now, you'll need this ETA.
Looks like it. Separate application for each entry. Planned to be free, apparently. It should let you use automated gates with a QR code, maybe speed things up. Some exemptions like diplomatic passports.
Sounds like a move towards more digital immigration.
Definitely. And Thailand fully adopted e-visas from January 1st, 2025 for those who do need visas, simplifying that process.
What about visa on arrival?
Still an option for eligible nationalities at major entry points, usually for a 15-day stay.
And the visa exemptions. Many countries get 30, 60, 90 days, right?
Correct. Lots of agreements exist, but the duration varies by nationality. The absolute key is check the specific requirements for your passport well before you travel. Don't assume.
Always double-check official sources.
One more health point tied to entry: yellow fever vaccination. Mandatory if you're arriving from or are a citizen of certain listed countries. You need the certificate, or you could be denied entry.
Crucial detail for people coming from specific regions.
Right. And just quickly, if you're thinking of working there, you absolutely need the correct non-immigrant visa and a work permit arranged through an employer beforehand.
Okay, good to cover all bases.
So let's try and wrap this up. Key takeaways to remember.
Yeah.
1. Understand the bet, its value, its cultural side.
2. Exchange money smartly. Avoid airport ripoffs, compare rates, watch for fees.
3. Balance cash and cards. You'll need cash, especially locally. Be aware of card fees.
4. Respect the culture. The way, dressing modestly, monks, royalty, know the do's and don'ts.
5. Stay safe. Be aware. Avoid scams. Take health precautions.
And 6. Stay updated on those visa rules, especially the new TDIC and ETA coming in 2025. Check requirements for your nationality.
Thinking about all this prep, it isn't just about avoiding problems, is it?
Not at all. It's about showing respect, which genuinely enhances your own experience. It opens doors, creates better interactions.
Exactly. So as you get ready for your own Thai adventure, maybe think about this. How will engaging respectfully with these money matters and cultural norms not just smooth your path, but actually make your trip richer? How might it help you connect more deeply with the place and its people?
What's one small gesture of respect, maybe something we talked about today, that you're now thinking you'd like to consciously practice when you're there?
Yeah, that's definitely something to mull over as you plan. A little thought goes a long way.